Relativity, the idea that everything is relative, right? Relative to your perspective, your upbringing, your age, your place, and orientation in space and time. Except that plenty of things, in fact, perhaps most things, aren't relative. For example, George Washington was the first president of the United States. World War I happened before the movie Star Wars was made, this picture shows 3 apples, and so on. It is true that certain things are relative to one's perspective. Is the apple on your left or my right? Is 50 degrees Fahrenheit hot or cold? Is a car fast or slow? Big or small? And the fact that they're relative is precisely what makes these concepts less interesting to scientists. In physics and in most science, anything that changes if you change perspective can't be a fundamental property of the universe. Only things that are absolute are considered physical or real. And for a long time, physicists thought that distances in space and intervals of time were absolute fundamental properties in the universe. The special theory of relativity, first described by Albert Einstein, was merely a statement of the realization that we were wrong. Distances in space and time are actually relative. They change depending on how fast you're moving. But more importantly, Einstein also described several quantities related to space and time, which are absolute. The distance between 2 events in space-time, the energy momentum of an object, and of course, the speed of light. Similarly, the general theory of relativity was essentially the recognition that in fact neither the acceleration nor the gravitational field experienced by an object are absolute quantities. Accelerations can transform into gravitational fields, and vice versa, depending on your perspective and the path you take through space-time. The more fundamental absolute quantity is the curvature of space-time, which you can think of as a kind of underlying or absolute gravity. Special and general relativity are, at their core, not about what's relative. They're about what's real, irrespective of perspective. If everything were relative, then there could be no science, no laws, no justice, just opinion. Science exists because it turns out there are absolutes in the universe, truths which are the same regardless of your perspective. You might even say that science is simply about finding the truths that will still be true if you remove the scientist. So, goodbye. If you're wondering where these awesome rocket sheep visuals came from, they're from Minute Labs, an interactive physics blog thingy that I started with Jasper Palfrey. You should definitely go check it out at minitelabs.io or click the link here or in the video description. If you like what you find, you can follow the blog at subbable.com/minitelabsio or on Tumblr or on YouTube. I hope you enjoy it.